So, everyone's picking their champions at the moment. We seem to have our matchup. We have on mid lane LeBlanc versus Akali. Akali in every single game today, by the looks of it. On bot lane, we have Tristana versus Corki. Supports, we have Blitzcrank versus Leona. In the jungle, we have Jarvan versus Fiora. And then on top lane, we have Wukong versus Twisted Fate.
I think Akali's definitely been the MVP for every Rainbow League game we've seen so far. Just
Apart
everyone's
from,
picking her.
apart from the first game, the Akali didn't do very well at all, unfortunately.
I wonder what went wrong. Disastrous. But yeah.
And then in the second, and in the third game, the Akali was doing very well, but unfortunately just couldn't carry.
There must be a reason why she's been picked in every game.
I think, I mean, I don't know why. I haven't seen much Akali recently, and then suddenly today, every single game, I think everyone's watching the previous games and saying, "Wow, Akali's really strong. She can, if she gets hyper fed, she just completely destroys everyone."
It's just that point and click ultimate.
But
The
in that
point and
last
click
game,
triple kill.
Akali did have a slight unfair advantage that the team she was up against didn't have a single piece of hard CC.
With Leona and Twisted Fate on the other team this time, I think.
And LeBlanc. Actually, no,
And
they
LeBlanc.
took the silence away from LeBlanc, didn't they?
Yeah, she still has her chain.
She starts the chain, which is the snare, I suppose, which can allow her to keep away from Akali. But
And this time we also have an exhaust on Leona.
also, hopefully, just LeBlanc dashing in and full bursting Akali is going to be actually quicker for once than Akali's burst. So, if LeBlanc can get fed enough to one-shot Akali, she's not going to have a good time. While LeBlanc, with her passive and possibility of using 2 Ws, might actually be able to get away from Akali as well.
You know, I'm surprised that Blue Team didn't pick Yasuo instead of Akali. Just because we've got 3 knockups with Blitzcrank, Wukong, and Jarvan.
It's true, but I suppose it probably depends what they can play.
That's true.
I need to remember, because this is Rainbow League, and each spot we have someone of a different rank, so I'm not 100% sure what rank KSA is.
He's platinum.
Oh, he's a plat player, but even like
whether or not he's any good is up for debate.
I know a lot of plat players that don't play Yasuo.
Yeah, it's true.
Indeed, I think even going up into like the high diamond, you're always better off playing the champion you know rather than champion who you're like, oh, this one's a counter, therefore I'll pick them. You're just better off with the champions you know. It just seems to always work out better. But the delay has almost finished, so the game will hopefully be starting very soon. On top lane though, Wukong versus Twisted Fate. It's an interesting one, of course. Twisted Fate, not a normal top laner, but going top lane, he can take both teleport and have his ultimate, so he's going to have a lot of map presence if he can use that properly.
I think Wukong will probably still be able to.
However, of course, Wukong with the decoy, the Nimbus Strike, is going to be able to lane bully Twisted Fate quite badly, I think, unless we can get some really good gold cards.
Yeah, there's going to be no monkey around in that lane.
Anyway, okay, switching over. Now that the game has begun, well, now that we're loading in at least. So we can have a quick look at the borders to remind ourselves. So the jungle is a diamond. The mid lanes are plat. The supports are gold. The ADCs are silver, and the top lanes are unranked. Finally, Fiora jungle is one I haven't seen since the new jungle, actually. I haven't seen a Fiora in a while. Jarvan I've seen plenty of.
Fiora's always a strange pick because she doesn't have any crowd control of her own, so she relies on the crowd control of the person that she's ganking.
True.
Which is great if you've got someone in mid lane who has a nice stun, but LeBlanc doesn't really have it apart from her chain.
True, But I suppose you do have Leona on bot lane, Twisted Fate on top lane, and LeBlanc on mid lane, who they do all have pieces of relatively hard CC at least. But like I say, I think it's more so they probably they picked the champion they knew. If you know how to play Fiora, play Fiora. But I am interested to see how well Fiora does in the new jungle. She of course does have parry, which can block at least one auto attack from the new heavier handed jungle creeps, but she isn't that tanky, and her passive can only get one stack when she's in the jungle. One stack of regeneration. Anyway, I'm loaded in now. We have a few seconds to look at the champion shadows before they load in too. We have LeBlanc going straight away for the Doran's Ring. Both ADCs, the Doran's Blade, obviously. Akali has decided to go Cloth 5 against LeBlanc. Oh no, Akali has changed her mind, not Cloth 5. Amp Tome 2. Or 1 even actually, my mistake. Ooh, purple team, running very quickly down towards red buff. Are they going for an invade, or are they just scared about an invade? LeBlanc's going to meet Blitzcrank and W away very quickly.
It means she's had to take W first, so we'll see how that turns out in the.
Well, she is up against a melee mid laner, I feel might be the reason why, especially now that because she won't have any follow-up with the Sigil. W doing more base damage against a melee auto attacker and also helping to push back the lane and farm until at least she gets level 2, so she can get Q and W to be able to proc the Sigil. We have Fiora doing a little dance along with Corki and Leona.
It looks like it's going to be a fairly boring start in the jungle for both teams.
Everyone's just protecting from the invade. No one's brave enough for the invade. I think purple team was just scared of the invade because blue team does have a Blitzcrank, and we all know how Blitzcranks like to pull buffs. Twisted Fate is going to get to his lane with plenty of time. Jarvan's going to start at the rooks. Wukong looks like he's going to be a little slow to lane, but it shouldn't slow him up too much. There we go. We have liftoff. LeBlanc straight away actually getting poked down a little bit by Akali. I think she went in a little too close. Up on top lane, a few auto attacks being traded here or there, but ultimately Wukong doesn't have the ability set yet to be able to bully the longer range Twisted Fate. Down on bot lane, Corki throwing a couple of phosphorus bombs because at this early stage he can't outpoke Tristana because Tristana only has 1 point in explosive shot. And Leona isn't a threat with her stuns yet. All in all, a very quiet start as the junglers get ready for ganks and everyone prepares for level 2. Jarvan not ganking mid lane, but instead going to recall so that he can buy. Twisted Fate pushing quite hard on top lane. Fiora very low in the jungle recalling. A little slower than Jarvan, definitely. But will that matter when the ganks begin to happen? Down on bot lane, Corki Leona definitely being the more aggressive side, pushing towards tower, but they definitely don't want to fight underneath a tower against an enemy Blitzcrank at level 2.
I think Fiora misjudged how much damage the new red buff does because she started it and then she had to go back before completing it.
Ooh, that is painful. Oh yes, she is indeed. She is still only level 2. That is going to slow down her jungle a lot. Or Jarvan, level 3 with his double buffs, is going for the first gank now on Twisted Fate on top lane. He goes for the flash, but it's instantly counter flashed by Twisted Fate. Flashes burn on either side then. LeBlanc is now starting to be able to poke Akali a bit more because she's got her sigil, her W and her chain, while Akali is just waiting for level 6 when she can start properly doling out the damage. Bot lane still farming relatively quietly. In terms of farm, LeBlanc's ahead, doubling Akali's farm actually. She really is being very aggressive. Corki and Tristana pretty much equal. Up on top lane, 17-17, very equal. Oh, however, Wukong is going for Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is very low, but is going to make it to safety in his tower.
Jarvan's looking for LeBlanc, but she manages to dodge out the way.
Fortunately, Akali. Oh, the flash from LeBlanc picks up the kill on Akali. Jarvan getting very low as well, but Jarvan's going to return back. It looks like someone has been watching all these Akali picks and decided that they are not in the mood for a fed Akali.
I don't think KS was expecting that. He was just hanging around his turret, and then suddenly the flash jump from LeBlanc.
LeBlanc's flash jumps, you can clear so much distance in so little time. Fiora coming for the gank on bot lane, through lane. Leona landing the E on Tristana. But ultimately, Corki was too far behind and too low health really to take any
Up in the
advantage
top
from that.
lane, we saw Wukong jump on Twisted Fate, but unfortunately he had a rather unpleasant encounter with the tower.
Oh, so we ended up with both top laners dying, did we? Ah yes, both 1-1. Twisted Fate's gone for the Sheen, while Wukong has gone for the boots and pickaxe. Jarvan has gone for the more jungle-heavy Rangers Trailblazer for the AoE Smite and also the heal and mana restore, while Fiora has gone for the Skirmisher Saber, so that she can start building up that magic damage on auto attack and can smite her opponents for bonus magic damage when she hits them. A lot of auto attacks come from Fiora at a very fast rate, so I think that's going to work out well for her. But Jarvan is going to be much stronger in the jungle, being able to clear camps much faster. Akali and Jarvan looking towards top lane. Twisted Fate pushing very hard against Wukong, not realising that Jarvan's behind him. And when he gets seen by the ward, it's going to be too late, as Jarvan's just going to walk in there. They're going to pick up a nice easy kill on Twisted Fate. LeBlanc
Meanwhile,
going
in
in
mid
on
lane,
Akali
LeBlanc
on
just got
mid
level
lane.
6.
LeBlanc level 7, Akali level 5. That's quite the level difference. Akali is only a few minutes away from level 6 though. And then it could be very interesting as both champions fight it out to burst each other as quick as possible. Oh, but LeBlanc is just too fast. Too much damage from LeBlanc 2 levels higher. And she just W's in for an easy kill with the Q. Up on top lane, Wukong is level 6, Twisted Fate staying level 5. Twisted Fate generally pushing harder and getting more poke on Wukong, but Wukong being far better when he does go all in. And on bot lane, we have blue side slowly started to become the more aggressive side, as Blitzcrank's hooks are more dangerous. Tristana's range slowly increases. Still, no one has started to fighting for Vision over Dragon yet. We're only 8 minutes in, so it's not too bad. But Dragon is so important in this new game. Oh, Fiora wants blue buff. I think she wants to give it to LeBlanc as well, but LeBlanc seems to be just standing there on mid lane. Has she disconnected? She's not doing anything, and Fiora wants to give her blue buff. Akali's coming for the gank on Twisted Fate on top lane. Wukong goes in, Akali straight from behind, and unfortunately, it's another easy pick on Twisted Fate because Twisted Fate is more mid laner, and that top lane is just too long. Without any mobility, without his ult.
I think Akali really wanted that kill.
Yeah. I think Akali's really wanted the kills, especially because LeBlanc is now reconnected. While LeBlanc was out of the game, Akali wanted to, get those kills, start getting a little bit of gold, so that she can surprise LB by bursting her even faster. Akali is level 6 now. You can't take that back. Ooh. Purple team pinging the dragon. Akali and LeBlanc both don't really know that they're facing each other off, but they're both just going to head back to lane. Up on top lane, Twisted Fate's returned to a lane filled hopefully with lots of minions for him to start getting, as his farm is still very equal with Wukong's. It's just been unfortunately that both Jarvan and Akali have very much enjoyed ganking poor Twisted Fate. While Fiora has been more focused towards bot lane, Akali's showing her new strength against LeBlanc there on mid lane, actually managing to win the trade there with her Shroud and ultimate. However, the lane is still pushing a little too hard. At the moment we're still 3 kills to 3 kills, no turrets taken. The slight goal difference in the farm that LeBlanc has over Akali. Other than that, everyone's staying very equal. Corki and Tristana almost exactly equal. Twisted Fate only slightly ahead of Wukong. Blitzcrank is going to go in hard on Corki down on bot lane. They do a lot of damage, but then Leona follows up with her CC. But unfortunately it's not enough and Corki goes down. And they decide to not bother with the kill on the very tanky Leona. On top lane, Fiora has come now, but so has Jarvan, and they're going to try and get another kill on Twisted Fate. And unfortunately Twisted Fate used his flash and then got ulted by Jarvan, and there's nothing, no way to get out of that.
I think there was very little chance of him getting out. Fiora had already backed off, and Jarvan just came up and said, "Hello, I'll have some of that." And
unfortunately, poor Twisted Fate. Leona landing the E she did not want to land there. She was out of the fight, but landed the E, went flying back in again on 100 health, and gave the kill to Tristana. So blue team now picking up a few extra kills just then, putting them slightly ahead. Although of course LeBlanc still doing very well on mid lane. Just now, after her short time being disconnected and Akali going top lane and getting a kill, is not winning quite as hard as she was before.
Yes, he has a level and 40 CS on Akali.
Which is good, but he did actually have more before. He was almost 2 levels on Akali. Oh! Okay, he still is 2 levels on Akali. LeBlanc looks like she's going to go up top lane and try and give poor Twisted Fate a break and kill this Wukong.
I don't see how Wukong is going to get out of this one. He's already still
well,
waiting
it seems that LeBlanc is going to change her mind, and that's how Wukong is going to get out of it. Because purple team is starting to look for that dragon, I think, and so are blue team. LeBlanc's just going to come back onto mid lane and just continue farming. Nothing quite going on.
Wukong is still waiting in the brush there. He's playing the long game.
He is playing the very long game. See if your enemy forgets that you exist. And indeed, it looks like Twisted Fate has forgotten that Wukong exists. Is this a masterful plan? And there he comes. But he doesn't. Oh, he does have the ult, but he didn't use it. A Twisted Fate on half health. Wukong goes in again. There's the ult. Unfortunately, it's just too much. Oh, but there's a fight going on down by Dragon. LeBlanc and Tristana jumping over the wall. Blue team managing to chase off LeBlanc, but Corki and Leona coming in from the bottom of river. Ooh, I don't think anyone's quite brave enough to do Dragon when everyone else is nearby. Oh, it looks like everyone's just going to continue to their lanes and keep farming and leave Dragon for another day. Jarvan's going to clear a ward. Blue team now has some good vision over Dragon though. If they keep that up, then Purple team won't be able to have an attempt at Dragon without Blue team knowing. Fiora just pushing top lane now, has decided to take over the role of top lane. While Twisted
Just
Fate heads
in
towards
mid lane, Akali managed to 1v1 LeBlanc. I was
However,
looking at in the replay.
now
And
Fiora is still behind though from her unfortunate jungling earlier, and so Wukong 3 levels above. It's just a bit too much for even Fiora to handle.
I think as much as we've praised LeBlanc for being able to out-farm and out-level Akali, there gets to that point in the game around about level 9 for Akali where she just walks all over people. And she just did.
Unfortunately. Akali's ultimate combined with her Mark of the Assassin is so strong. And just, especially now, if LeBlanc still had the silence she used to, maybe it would be a completely different story and Akali wouldn't have stand a single chance. But as it stands, if Akali can survive LB's burst, Akali's is far more sustained. Jarvan's going for the pick on Twisted Fate again on mid lane, and it looks like he might get it because unfortunately Twisted Fate just can't get away. He just doesn't have the mobility against these champions like Jarvan or Akali when they just simply walk up behind him.
Twisted Fate is now 1 for 6. He's going to find it very hard to come back against any sort of champion, especially when the top lane he's against has 5 kills and 75
He has the Lich Bane, but
creeps.
unfortunately he doesn't have enough AP to make Lich Bane the massive powerhouse it can be. LeBlanc is trying to roam a lot, but kind of seems to change her mind most times, and so she actually hasn't managed to get any kills from roaming so far. She's going to land that chain on Akali though. Is she going to be able to get anything off this? As Corki comes as well, and Leona. Yes, they are going to be able to pick up the kill on Akali, as Akali managed to snook herself between all 4 of them.
Yeah, she managed to great escape straight into a Leona stun, and there wasn't really anything that was going to help her there.
Unfortunately, the Leona offered one last chance of freedom to get away from the other 3, but Leona. Tristana going to knock away LeBlanc with the ult, but is that going to... No, unfortunately, still not going to stop Jarvan. But Jarvan coming in, Fiora pops her ult, very low health, Jarvan goes back in with the ult, but unfortunately Fiora has already escaped out. It's a 4 versus 2 at the moment. Oh, LeBlanc's passive goes off, very low health. But it is still a 2 versus 2, even with the other 2 now backing off. Very good work by Jarvan and Tristana to stay alive there, and almost picking up the kills as well, but unfortunately they're just a little too far behind. The enemy can get away with more than they can. Wukong starting to pile the damage on the tower on top lane. However, it still looks like it's going to be a little while before he can finish it off. Still, no one has been brave enough to take Dragon. As Akali pushes up mid lane. So we are... oh, there we go. Okay, we've lost 1 turret now. Wukong takes the first turret of the game on top lane. Unfortunately, Twisted Fate has nowhere to hide now in top lane against the Wukong, who is now 6-1. Akali and LeBlanc are going to fight out on mid lane. Oh! Unfortunately, LeBlanc's damage is just too much, and Akali, even though she can run back into her shroud, still can't escape the LeBlanc chain, which also reveals where she is, because you can see the chain go to her. Bot lane has been playing this game very passively all game. Tristana 1-0-1, Corki 0-1-1. Farm very equal. There's been a lot of skirmishes, but no real kills going on. It looks like red team want the dragon actually. LeBlanc's coming and Fiora's going to be doing it. But blue team do know this. Blitzcrank goes for the pull, but Dragon manages to block it. Jarvan comes in and does manage to smite it. Flashes out as well. Oh, but Tristana also jumps in, unfortunately, and she doesn't have a way back out again. So unfortunately, the kill of Tristana was given. But blue team does manage to secure the first dragon for themselves with that. With that nice jump over by Jarvan at just the right moment. Up on top lane, Twisted Fate still pushes a lot harder than Wukong. It's just that Wukong has such a stronger engage, and Twisted Fate does not have any tankiness to survive when Wukong ults on him. Down on bot lane, Tristan's had to go back, so it looks like Corki's going to take this as an opportunity to maybe get some tower damage. Nope, he's changed his mind. Doesn't look like they know what exactly they're doing. It's LeBlanc. Oh, I didn't realise LeBlanc has escaped away from Akali on very low health on mid lane. Bot lane has gone missing, according to the pings, and indeed they are coming up on mid lane behind Akali. She was warned by her allies in time and was able to make it away.
You could just see Corky coming over, and he saw Akali and he thought, oh, I don't want any of that, and he rocketed straight over the wall.
Absolutely. On top lane, unfortunately, Twisted Fate gets locked down once again by the Wukong Jarvan combo. LeBlanc still looking around for all of this, for all of these ganks, for all of this roaming, but just doesn't quite seem to be able to. LeBlanc lands the chain, but unfortunately the invisibility means that she can't do a follow-up. Akali's ults work for a good escape. Oh, but the Leona ult does land. Oh! Akali trying all the jukes she knows. It might work. Jarvan's coming along too.
Oh, they turn it around.
But LeBlanc does manage to get away on low health. Unfortunately, it's not going to be anything for either team there. A good job by Jarvan with the knock-up. Perfect timing.
And Akali's ducking and dodging. She managed to weave out of the Leona stun. She was only
that Hextech Revolve was
slow.
very useful. The slow from that definitely saved her enough time. Gave her enough time for Jarvan to come in. Wukong's going to push top lane very hard. Twisted Fate ulting up there to stop him, but unfortunately all he can do is take the minions. Fiora keeping the blue buff for herself apparently, which is a shame. I feel like LeBlanc could use blue buff very well, especially considering how she wants to roam and has got her Rabadons and Sock Shoes already. Carly going to recall. How are the gold totals doing? So on purple team, LeBlanc in the lead for total gold, and on blue team, who's the highest? Tristana actually. Oh no, not my mistake. Wukong, of course. Wukong at 6-1 in the lead of gold. No one at the moment has much of a gold stash though. No one saving up to buy a big item. Everyone's gone back recently. Warrior enchant for both jungles. Down on bot lane, Blitz and Tristana are trying to hide to catch out Corki, but Corki had wised up and left long ago. Up on top lane, Jarvan again is going to come down with ult on Twisted Fate, and there's just not anything Twisted Fate can do. Without his flash, he cannot escape Jarvan's ultimate. Oh, Akali survives on 10 health from LeBlanc's combo while hiding under her shroud. LeBlanc had no way to that landed, unfortunately. But it did land and left Akali on less than 10 health. Oh, LeBlanc looking for follow up on Jarvan, but Blitzcrank's hook scares her away. We're looking at a 4 versus 3 on mid lane here, while Corki takes the first tower on bot lane. Akali can't quite decide where is most important to go. Twisted Fate unfortunately not having the best of time, but it still seems that Team Purple is holding in there. In terms of total gold, it's almost exactly the same, but kills are 12-7, so it's looking very even at the moment. Twisted Fate has come mid lane, just hopefully to get a bit of farm. But Akali is having none of that, and goes straight in as soon as Twisted Fate even gets close. But Fiora is going to come for the side gank, and Leona from the other side. But Akali's Shroud is going to save her yet again. But for how long? The Ignite does manage to claim Fiora's life, but Akali's Shroud couldn't save her there.
It's the second time now that Leona has been in the exact place that Akali did not want her to be.
Yep, Akali sees two enemies closing from the two other directions, so she obviously goes to the one direction she can flee in. And there's Leona. Dragon will be spawning in 10 seconds, so purple team are wanting their first dragon after it got cruelly stolen from them by Jarvan the last time. But are they brave enough to start it straight away while Blitzcrank and Wukong lurk nearby? Seems they're not, and Blitzcrank is going to ward into the back there. Ooh, Blitzcrank is just waiting. He's just waiting for someone to fall into his dragon trap. But it looks like no one is falling for it, and simply everyone's going back to farming again. It seems that no one has been too keen on big fights this game. Blanc trying to run away, Blitzcrank very fast, but just doesn't close enough distance before he goes for the pull. Blue team starting to stack up in river. They're looking for the dragon. They do want it. Ultra faster fight. Jarvan goes in again on Twisted Fate, and again Twisted Fate has no way to get out of that ult. It is a sad story repeated many times. Blue team now looking to see if they can get a pick on anyone else, because if they could, then they could definitely take that dragon. Instead, looks like they're going to settle for mid first tower. Blitzcrank going in very fast to see. Leona and Fiora waiting at the side, but blue team are sticking together, so I feel that it is wise for them to leave. Ah yes, blue team has now decided that while they are all stacked up together, they are just going to take the dragon while they cannot be contested. Even so, Leona is coming to have a look at least.
They want that blue buff?
They do, yeah, Blitzcrank does. Purple team's starting to stack up now as well. Looks like there's a chance we could get a team fight soon. Both teams stacked up, kind of facing each other down through the jungle.
And now that blue team have the second stack on Dragon Slayer's buff, top lane is going to become a lot more of an issue for the purple team, because the blue minions are naturally going to push against the purple ones.
Luckily, the minions don't actually get dragon buff, so it's only if Wukong himself goes up there that it should make a difference.
Ah, right. Well, if he does go there, it's going to be a real problem for...
Luckily, the 15% increased damage to minions and monsters only applies to champions.
If it was a universal, that would be...
I would very much like it if you could give your minions that lovely 8% AD and AP. Or if you could give minions the 5 stack of dragon buff, where minions are doing 152 damage over 3 seconds on their attacks. That'd be pretty nice. Minions OP. Looks like both teams are thinking about forming up again and looking for a team fight. You've got everyone kind of vaguely heading towards mid lane.
Does the second stack of dragon aspect apply to your smite?
This is a good question. I don't know is the answer. Often damage bonuses don't apply to 2 damage, it is true. But there's no reason why it shouldn't. Looks like blue team wants the tower, but unfortunately second tower is a lot harder to fight under with that shield now that it gives. So blue team is just going to completely break up and see what else they can do.
Cool, he's going to find Jarvan in the jungle.
Ooh, Jarvan playing it dangerously. All of Purple team. Purple team staying very stacked up. I am very surprised that LeBlanc wasn't able to get more out of her roaming. She managed to do very well early game, got quite fed, and then just... She seemed to roam a lot. She seemed to go up to top lane, down to bot lane, but just couldn't quite get anything out of it. So even though she started off the game very well, she's still only 4-1, which 4-1 is a good score, but for LeBlanc, could be so much more. Oh, the blitz flash hooks the Twisted Fate, and there's no way, unfortunately, to predict or counter that. LeBlanc at least makes it away. Oh, purple team splitting up quite a lot. Stan's going to take blitz. What's the hook on the end? Oh!
I think LeBlanc walked into
LeBlanc
that
tried
one.
to come in the side there, but unfortunately, Blitzcrank is the champion with the silence now.
It maybe wasn't the best choice walking in with no flash and half health, especially when Akali was so close.
Wukong looks like he wants a fight with Fiora, but Fiora also looks like she wants a fight. And in fact, it looks like Fiora's going to win. Wukong severely underestimated Fiora. Fiora's ult very good for Wukong, because when Wukong is using his ult, Fiora can use her ult in order to take no damage at all, and in fact heal up. Down on bot lane, blue team are retreating after taking a cheeky tower. And red team are in pursuit, but very, very half-heartedly. They don't really think they're going to get anything off this. Dragon will be spawning in 1 minute 30, so we're going to have maybe another big dragon fight going on. Ooh. No one has really tried to contest Baron yet at 31 minutes. Hasn't quite been brave enough. Fiora sees the Akali, but Akali does not want to fight. Jarvan trying very hard to keep the number of enemy wards down. At the moment, the gold totals are still looking pretty close, with blue team only 1,500 gold above purple team, even though they have 7 more kills. Because unfortunately, it appears those 7 kills are all on Twisted Fate, and after that many kills, unfortunately, someone just isn't worth much gold anymore. Jarvan spent all of his time ganking top lane. Blue team again seeing if they can get any damage onto second tower on mid lane, but just no. Fiora going again to fight Wukong on top lane. This time Wukong playing it a little bit more cautiously after last time. In fact, he's going to TP away. Just in time as well. Wukong managed to escape with the TP with 400 health left. And blue team are waiting right there for dragon as it spawns. It looks like they're going to be able to take it before purple team can get their contest, so that gives them their 3rd dragon. 5% movement speed for the whole team. While purple team is still yet to get their 1st dragon. Blitzcrank's going to go very quickly. Unfortunately, Twisted Fate's mobility is just too low and he cannot get out of the way of that hook. The Jarvan comes down on top of everything. But unfortunately, Fiora with the Ravenous Hydra and the ult on top of everyone in the Jarvan ult was really strong. And Fiora actually manages to really do some work and pick up a lot of kills there.
Yeah, and there was also Corki who manages to get out of all the crowd control and ultimates from the blue team and just sat there firing rockets all day.
The Jarvan ult managed to group up his own team perfectly for Fiora's ult to combine with Ravenous Hydra to completely destroy.
I think Craft team are quite happy to take that ace and the inhibitor along with
And the inhibitor. It seems Tristano spawning in 1 second. The others in a few seconds, but not going to be able to connect at all. Corki seems like he wants purple. It's a purple. Why am I calling it purple buff? It's Baron.
Corki is now getting monstrous. He has 230 CS. He's got 2 kills and he's going to start to become a real problem.
He's just starting to scale well. He's got his Trinity Force. He's starting to build his IE. They want to threaten the Baron. Oh, his Blitz is looking for something, but does he realise how many people are there is the question. Blue team's starting to think about the ban themselves now, maybe. Now that all 5 of them are there, and they think they might have chased off purple team. But no, it appears Akali's recalling. She's put in her vote of not attempting such a big objective right now. Down on bot lane, minions are doing a lot of work on that tower. Akali is hoping to pick up some gold. Unfortunately, Akali's AoE damage just isn't actually that strong. Both teams really fighting for the ward supremacy.
Corki's now picked up his Infinity Edge and Fiora has a cleaver. So I think when the Baron fight does come, the power spike from Corki is going to translate to a lot of pain.
Fiora really starting to turn into a kind of like her almost AD carry like late game state where I've seen games before where the enemy team didn't have an AD carry, so Fiora stepped up and became the AD carry. And it really can work. Corki sitting on mid lane asking for his allies to come and help. But unfortunately they're all too busy. Very far away. LeBlanc able to just about pick up the kill on Tristana as well. Very low health, but she did manage to do it. However, is the Jarvan going to be able to... Yes, he is. Lands the ult on LeBlanc before she can get away. And it's just a little too much damage. Purple team, after that last team fight, have now taken ahead in gold, but not by that far still. It's only 1.5k ahead. There's no big gap forming yet. Twisted Fate teleporting to base, apparently. To see if he can pick up the Jarvan that Fiora is eager to get revenge on. Akali tries to come in, but unfortunately she gets almost destroyed just by the sheer AoE damage and has to shroud and run away.
Fiora is 8 for 1 and she's monstrous at the moment.
With the Ravenous Hydra, the Black Cleaver, and the Skirmisher's Saber with Warrior.
Well, she has the most gold of anyone on her team.
13,500. Wow, she does have the most gold in the game by quite a long way. I believe Wukong is still in second place with only 11,500. And it looks like they're going to go for ban. Fiora's damage going to be able to take it down very quickly. Blue team not anywhere nearby, and they don't have any wards around either, so they can only suspect the worst. And indeed, they would be correct. And indeed, Leona grabbing on instantly is the first Blitzcrank she finds. This purple team now probably want to just push down mid lane very hard and take what they can. However, the inhibitor tower and inhibitor have already been taken. Twisted Fate providing his distraction. Jarvan ulting again. Unfortunately, Leona can't get out of there. Both LeBlanc and Fiora too far away to be able to help. As the rest of blue team jumped on top there. Akali looking for the pick on Fiora. Not sure how well that would go. The blue team managed to there, get a couple of kills. They're kind of pushing back. They're now checking Baron so that at least they'll have an idea when it spawns again. Dragon is going to be up in 30 seconds. Remember, purple teams don't have any dragons, while blue team have 3. So even if there might be not a large gold differential, the Baron buffs are worth a lot. And then again, with it being this close, if purple team can also pick up their first dragon for the 8% AD and AP, that could really swing a fight or two. Everything goes quiet for the moment as everyone's just kind of looking around, pushing out lanes, getting enough gold for that next big item they want to just finish off. Blitzcrank and Wukong want to try and get this Fiora, but they're not going to be able to. Tristana though now does have her IE and her static shiv. Level 15 as well. Her range is really increasing. So she's starting now. Almost 700 range. Purple team still do have their ban buff though, so whenever they do go past their minions, they do give them an 80% damage reduction. The dragon has spawned. It does look like purple team is going to get it this time. And indeed, there we go. Purple team nice and easily picks up their first dragon. Blitzcrank gets a good pull in on Fiora. However, Fiora's ult then goes off and manages to do a lot of work. Oh, and Fiora's ult, the amount of lifesteal Fiora has is crazy with that ult. Blitz gets a good pull on Fiora, I still say it was, and they almost managed to kill her, but just before she died, the CC ran out, she's able to pop her ult, and she just heals all the way back
User
up
joined
again.
your channel.
It's crazy. And it looks like Purple Team are going to push straight down the middle here. Can they just win straight off the back of this? Jarvan's the only one alive for the next 20 seconds. It does look like they're going to take that first tower. Jarvan's going to come in. But is Jarvan going to survive coming in? No, he's not. And Purple Team takes both next towers down and the Nexus. And we have game. Purple Team do win that one. It was a very close game. Well done to them. Well, that is it for the Rainbow League games today. To anyone who has been watching or listening, thank you very much. And I think this is actually the last one of the term, isn't it? So, I'd like to say, hopefully it'll be on again next week, but unfortunately I'm not sure if it is. Hopefully.
I don't think it is, no. This is the last one.
Well, tomorrow on Sunday we'll be streaming the games from Newell. I know that much at least. So there'll be plenty more to watch if anyone out there is enjoying this. Other than that, I think that's it from us tonight. So, good night.